Another episode of 15 Minutes with. I'm super excited. I am here in Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, with my good friend, Workday architect, Workday change management, transformation, teacher turned tech guru herself, Kimberly Consevage. Kimberly, welcome.
Haley, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here. How are you, firstly?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to see you in the Queen City.
Thank you. So, Kimberly, this is our first time doing this,
yes,
but it's not our first time chatting. And it's certainly, you have a history of helping organizations transform the way they do business. So I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're conquering the world.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the consulting space now for 12 years. I've moved around and fell into the Workday ecosystem now for about 6 years. It's been a really fun and exciting ride for me. I've just feel like I've grown and seen so much. I really enjoyed working with different organizations, different sizes from different industries. I think one of the things I enjoy working within this ecosystem the most is everyone comes from a different place, whether it's from customer or they switched over to, the professional side, and or they maybe bounce back and work for Workday directly. I think there's so many different avenues that you can go down. And I think we all just learn and grow from each other all the time. And I think that makes each of us better at what it is that we're trying to do.
So what is it that you are doing? You have this change component. You're obviously, I think you were a teacher.
Yes.
Turned tech.
Yeah.
So what is it that you are doing specifically?
Yeah. So I did start out as a teacher as my first job out of college. I was, brought into the classroom through an organization called Teach for America. It's a very mission oriented organization. And I really just fell in love with just that calling. I learned and grew so much during that time. And, once I reached kind of the end of my, period working with the organization, I knew I had interest in other fields, but wasn't quite sure where I would land. And one of the things I actually did when I was nearing kind of my end of working for Teach for America is I would just kind of reach out to different folks who knew me or didn't know me and grab coffee and just ask them, what are they doing? And I think I was always gravitating around the world of business, but as you know, that's very broad and I didn't know exactly what that meant. So I like to say that technology found me. I didn't find it. I got my first job at Accenture once I switched from the classroom, and I was, immediately put onto a large scale system implementation project. Over 100,000 employees were impacted by this implementation. And as I said, technology found me and I just started absorbing and learning as much as I could, as quickly as I could.
I love that. So a lot of organizations, especially, an organization of 100,000 employees, or even organizations of 1,000 employees, face this thing that many folks call change fatigue. How do you help them exercise change fitness versus change fatigue?
Yeah, so definitely it's a little bit of an art, a little bit of a science. I think oftentimes in order to build a resilience, you have to have something to anchor to. I think a lot of times when customers, they get excited, this is going to be beneficial and it will be in the end. But sometimes they don't do the necessary planning and vision exercises at the forefront. They kind of just dive right in. And I think if I had a magic wand and I could, tell customers before they really dive into the actual implementation piece to spend a little bit more time at the forefront, really figuring out what are your goals? What's your vision for this? What do you want to get out of it? And I think that really speaks volumes throughout, because once you get into the thick of things with projects, it is easy to lose sight of what it is that you're trying to do. And everyone has various goals and ambitions and, they're being pulled in different directions. But if you have nothing to anchor the whole team, the whole project back to, then it's easy just to go sideways and easy to kind of lose sight of that big goal. The other thing with change fatigue is, I know easier said than done, but a lot of organizations, when they're thinking about a digital transformation, oftentimes that change is not done in a silo. They're undergoing other things that they want to change about their organization. And that list is endless. It could be really any number of things. And I think it's truly important for organizations just to be very mindful and considerate of what they're going to be putting the organization through during that same time period. And therefore not necessarily minimize the goals, but just manage the goals and maybe spread them out over a longer period of time. And I know I'm not the first person to say this, but go live is truly just the beginning. And I think a lot of organizations put so much of an emphasis on getting everything right at go live. And in reality, it's truly just the beginning. So really, again, going back to just managing your expectation, going back to what I said a few minutes ago, having a core vision and really anchoring to that and knowing that this is just the beginning of your journey.
Yeah, that go live is the beginning is a really unique concept and one I completely agree with. I think, at least in my experience, one of the key challenges with thinking that everything will be in the implementation, not only is it not true, but a lot of times those that are supporting the implementation are also managing their day job and the legacy system.
Right.
So we're asking them to do a lot. We're asking them to lean in to a lot of things. We're asking them to accomplish a lot of goals. And sometimes when we're spread too thin, we don't get anything right.
Right.
So do we want them focusing on the implementation? Do we want them focusing on their day job? Do we want them focusing and supporting the legacy system? It's a lot to ask.
Exactly.
And it doesn't always give grace to the fact that you're going to be with the new system forever. So you have plenty of time to optimize it and make it home.
Yes, exactly. And I know easier said than done.
Yeah. So obviously, you've been around for a bit of time on this change and consulting and transformation journey. Well, I assume every customer you've ever had has just been flawlessly wonderful and they've never had any issues, no problems at all. I know that that's not the reality, right? So I'm curious, how do you build trust early in an implementation so that when things come up, you can help them navigate those challenges?
Yeah, Lee. So I think, to build trust, you really have to show up and be consistent. Trust is a two-way street. I think when you're just within any relationship, whether it's personal, professional, in those early days, early weeks, months, you truly just have to showcase that you're here for them. You're ultimately their partner at the end of the day. And if you say you're going to do something right, just deliver. It's simple. It's very elementary, but it just goes a long way. And I think over time, you earn that title of being an advisor. I think that title is not something that's should not be freely given. It's something that you step into. Even if you're called it, you really have to earn it over time. But I think that's where that trust. And I think as I've worked on projects that are, longer in nature, I know it's easy to kind of lose sight and kind of get a little bit run down because just so much needs to happen during implementation. But I think if you can just always show up and be consistent and have, whoever's your counterpart or your core committee have each other's back. And again, just always kind of be there for that person. I think you're going to earn that trust over time and keep it.
I love that. So what is some of the biggest misconceptions you think organizations have when they're embarking around or on digital transformation journeys?
Well, I think you have a book that's titled this, but technology doesn't equal transformation. I think there's so many benefits to systems like Workday, and absolutely some of those benefits will be realized by doing very little. But at the end of the day, a system just implemented is truly just going to be a Band-Aid over bigger problems if those problems aren't worked through. Some of them need more time and they're not going to be worked through during that initial implementation. Some are going to need a little bit more time. But ultimately, there needs to be various individuals who are appointed to representing the broader organization and really considering the things that are going to be advantageous to solve for and make those critical decisions. And I know they're not easy, but that needs to be done to improve your processes, to, divide and conquer roles and responsibilities, to make sure that there is, a clear path when making decisions and gathering requirements and having your ultimate journey of how you want to optimize, month and year over year. And I think, without doing that, I think ultimately you're just not going to kind of, ultimately kind of see truly the ultimate benefits in the end of that system.
Of that. It's hard to realize your goals if you are not aligned
right
early. So looking forward, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in the leadership and learning space?
I I would say as I've gotten more experienced, there's always things that come, in front of me on my plate that I'm kind of intrigued to learn more about. And I think just always being adaptable as a leader. I've certainly worked with many different types of leaders, some who are less willing to adapt than others.
Yes.
And I think there's a time and a place for certainly sticking to methodology and,
yes.
and, best practices. But if you aren't willing yourself to adapt and change, then you certainly cannot expect your teams to adapt and change. So I think being an adaptable leader, somebody who's always open to suggestions, new ways of doing things, hearing others' perspective, I think that's certainly what I would like to be known for as a leader.
I love that. All right. So Kimberly, we're at a exciting point in our journey. Number one, I'd like to open the floor for you to ask me one question. You get one. And I don't have any notes on this, so we'll see how this will go.
So through doing these podcasts, what is the biggest thing that you have learned so far?
I've always felt like I had a really strong community, both at home and abroad, if you will, in my Workday, Smartsheet, consulting community. But doing these actually allows me to learn more about the folks in a deeper level, but also I get to share that goodness with other people. And that's really kind of what it's all about, which is why I try to do less talking and allow the guests to do more talking. But it's really like, oh, I learned something about this person that I didn't know. I learned that they like to do this thing that I never knew that they like to do. And it just really helps me connect a little bit more with them and ultimately, I think, with myself as well. Yeah.
I love that.
So we're at rapid fire, Kimberly. Okay.
All right.
We're going to go through just a few questions. 2 minutes are on the board. First thing that comes to mind, we're going to just kick off with it. Okay. When did you know that you wanted to be a consultant?
Well, I said this earlier, is when I was nearing the end of my time with Teach for America, and I had a little inkling of what I wanted to do, but ultimately I just started getting coffee with anyone who would get coffee with me. And I just started picking their brain about what they do and, what does their day-to-day look like? And yeah, I just kind of consulting kind of fell into my path. And I said, I want to try that. That sounds really interesting and a good way to learn. And project-based work, I think in particular, was really intriguing to me. So that's awesome. How I came into it.
If your life was a movie, what would the tagline be? I don't know. Okay. If your life was a children's book, what would it be called? Kimberly, you have two. All right.
Just keep going.
All right. If you were a superhero, what would your power be?
Ooh, to fly. Okay. I knew that one.
Okay.
To fly.
Right. What's something you've learned in the past week?
So I've been using ChatGPT a lot to do different things. And my daughter really loves to color. And she really loves looking at photos of like her when she's like baby and just family photos on my phone. It's just like her favorite activity. So if you upload photos to ChatGPT and ask to make it into a coloring page, it will do it. And you can print it out, and then like my daughter can color photos of herself, her family members. It's so fun.
Okay. Now I asked someone this question, this question, and she said, never seen that movie. Kimberly, what is your Hogwarts house?
Oh, Gryffindor, of course.
Oh, I love that.
Of course.
Shout out to Nicole Fleshman. Okay. What were you afraid of as a child?
Ooh. I was the youngest child.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe just like being left out.
Oh, well, you don't have to worry about that now. Hang out with us. All right, last two. What was your last impulse buy?
Clothes.
Does Matt know about this?
Yes. I've got him some nice things for Father's Day recently.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Matt. He's a consultant as well.
He is. Yep.
Can we share where? Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
So where's he at?
Cross Country Consulting.
Okay. Shout out to Cross Country Consulting. Kimberly and I both hung out there a little bit. All right. Our last one. Okay. What celebrity annoys you the most? I have one. And it's just because she's so cool. I just want to be her. But not her, but just emulate her.
Oh, well, so you said annoys. So is it my favorite or my...
It can be.
Oh. I love Kristen Bell. She's amazing at everything. She can sing, like act, do it all. I love it. She's a wonderful mom, role model. She has 2 daughters just like myself. So Kristen Bell.
The one that annoys me the most is Caroline Wonga. She is CEO of Essence Magazine. Previously was at Target. Every time she walks on stage, I'm like, how does she do that? I just want to like be in a cubby hole, and watch that. I want to see how she does it. It's electric. So I shout out to Caroline Wonga. But anyways, Kimberly, any last minute notes before we wrap up? Anything you'd like to say, share, put out into the world?
I have really enjoyed just watching. I've been a watcher of the series now for as long as it's been around. And I think you said this earlier I know I didn't have any part to play in the other interviews, but I have learned so much about folks. You've interviewed folks that I have worked with, and I learned much more about them through this process. And I think it's just been fun to be a spectator. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be involved.
Thank you. All right, y'all, that concludes our time today. Please go out and connect with Kimberly on LinkedIn and all the things. She is out there over at BDO USA, conquering the world. Thank you so much for your time. See y'all. Bye.